Live from our studio in Lagos, Nigeria, this is TVC News at 7. We'll start off with updates on the 2024 Corruption Perceptions Index by Transparency International. Nigeria has ranked 140 out of 180 countries in the world index, moving 5 places from 2023. The latest ranking by Transparency International shows that no African country is in the top 10 most corrupt countries in the world. Denmark emerged as the least corrupt country with 90 points, with Finland coming in second with 88 points and Singapore in the third place with 84 points. Countries like South Sudan, Somalia and Venezuela are ranked the most corrupt countries. Based on the report, 32 countries have significantly reduced their corruption levels since 2012, and 148 countries have remained on the same spot or gotten worse during the same period. Chair of Transparency International, Francois Valerian, emphasized that corruption is still a major threat to climate action as it hinders progress in reducing emissions. Executive Director of CACL, Debo Adeniro, joins me live on the news at 7 for more. Good to have you join us at this time. Well, this does look like a different narrative where Africa is always seen as synonymous to corruption, but this time no African nation is in the top 10. Is this something to celebrate?
Well, it's still something to celebrate because we are moving forward. We are getting better. And our government seems to be working harder than before in their effort to curb corruption in Africa. Africa is yet to fashion out its own measure of corruption, indices that would determine how corrupt a country is. Just like we had to tease out African Charter of People's Rights, human and people's rights, we have to develop our own corruption indices that will determine if truly, in Africa's opinion, countries in Africa are actually not making progress. But I believe that within our own capacity, the limit of our own capacity, we are making progress, especially in Nigeria. The other time it was 10 points forward. Now 5 points forward. We can keep on moving steadily upward till we stamp out corruption from our society. And from what you have seen, government is not relenting on its effort. EFCC, for example, has been working tooth and nail to ensure that nobody escapes corruption trial.
All right.
Those who think Yeah,
I hear you, Mr. Adeniro. I'm glad you've mentioned Nigeria and narrowing it down to Nigeria. You know, the country has moved 5 places now up from 145 to 140. Is this impressive or still a cause for concern?
What I mean is that it is impressive because no matter how little the progress is, what is important is that we should not stop making effort towards curbing corruption. If we keep on making the effort, those who intend to engage in corrupt practices will think twice before they engage in such practices. If they know that the anti-corruption agencies and regulatory agencies are not relenting in pursuing them, in seeking them out wherever they are hiding, and prosecuting them, getting enough evidence and witnesses against them, and that judiciary are also not aiding, they are not using frivolities in discharging corrupt elements that we apprehend in our society. Definitely, we keep on making progress. It is the progress that we are making that will determine how the world perceives us. Don't forget, the outcome may not be necessarily be the reality. It is just a perception, maybe based on our work, based on our effort, based on the laws and the new laws that we are making to strengthen the fight against corruption. We always help us to move higher in the rating of transparency.
Okay, let's now talk about the 3 least corrupt countries in the world based on that index. We have Denmark, we have Finland and Singapore. What do you think they are doing right that we can learn from?
What they are doing right is that they have made new laws that makes corruption a capital offense, a capital crime. And of course, the way they treat their own citizenry is different from the way we treat ours. What we need to do what they do in those countries is to ensure that everybody engages in honest economic activities. And they monitor every step that their citizens take. They monitor their financial institutions. It is very difficult for corrupt elements to use their financial institutions to launder money because they keep records, and the anti-corruption agencies and other law enforcement agencies actually keep direct watch on their financial institutions. All the corporate organizations will have to pass through the eyes of the law before they are able to they are able to move money and material from one end of their country to another or to offshore countries. So basically, if we also strengthen our laws and we also oversight those who are supposed to monitor the way we engage in economic activities at the level of corporate organization, at the level of government institutions, and at the level of the general public, definitely we will continue to win. We have enough laws, actually. It is the implementation that we don't monitor in Nigeria that is making it easy for corrupt elements to engage in the trade